So we were talking about SOC being needed in every part of this plan. We talked about mapping, prioritizing, fixing, hunting, and now about how do we protect for the future. So Hub Security has a secure compute environment, which is a appliance-based software and hardware that is where you keep your most sensitive applications. And it has a lot of different capabilities. I'm just going to talk about specific capabilities that are going to help you protect against Log4j, but any other vulnerabilities. I think the idea of it is, other than, I would take one example as zero trust. So zero trust talks about how can you take all of your security configuration and micro parameterize them into the smallest, as Nis call it, the smallest inclusive trust zone you can have. So think about each server having its own trust zone and doesn't trust anything that is not familiar to it. So let's take an example. When an attacker trying to get this, the initial HTTP request, REST API, to get into the server, we can inspect the fields, we can inspect the strings. Even before the string inspection, we can prevent the exposure of the APIs to the outside world. On top of that, we can add authorization key and signature. So we can say only authorized signatures, only authorized tokens are able to get into this application, this server. So that means the attacker would need to find a way to send a valid request. So that's one way to slow them down. So that's the first one. The second phase is when let's say it did go somehow. Someone stole my token and they were able to sign a message, and that message now is on its way to the server. So now the server goes to the LDAP server. The external LDAP server is one of the examples. That would also be denied because that external LDAP server is not something we expect. So we would have a list of IP addresses and ports that are able to work through that server, and we automatically will block any external channels that are the wrong protocols, the wrong IP, the wrong ports. So that would be blocked. Let's say that by mistake, this port and IP is open. We can also make sure that when it goes back, we will block any unauthorized executable, which is the malicious code that is running, that is getting back into the server. And we can define policies to mitigate that. We can even say, you know what, if you're the administrator of the server, you might be able to put an executable inside, but there's no way you will be able to do anything with it unless there is an additional approver in order to do that. So we can get governance inside the solution as well. So I just told you about, I think, 4 or 5 different functionalities of the solution. One is signature and token verification. 2 is authorization of APIs. 3 is access control for APIs. And 4 is governance of access. Who can approve what? Who needs to approve what before it actually happens? And the 6th one is actually a network control, right? What kind of IPs and ports can happen here? Just those features on top of other features we have in our solution can help you mitigate any vulnerability that your applications might have. And that's why we think of it as, you know, the most sensitive stuff needs to work on the most secure environment, and we provide that environment for our customers.